it's those of us that actually dial the phone, make the contacts. If we're at the gym and we're talking to somebody and they come over and say, how's the market? Be prepared to answer that question in your market so that you're showing them that you are sharp, you've got background, you've got research, and you're a hard worker. But the bottom line is just that old Nike saying, just do it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, it's Aaron Wittenstein, and I would like to welcome you all to Vulcan7 Roadmap. This is where we interview agents across the country, some that even cover numerous areas in the country, okay? And we learn from them how to take an additional, just a lot of listings a week, people, okay? So today we have 3 different markets, okay? I'm not one, not two, not 3, and it's actively lead generating in 2 of those markets, all right? We have Kari Kohler. Kari, how are you today?
Doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having. So for those of you guys that don't know or haven't been watching Roadmap since years ago, Kari was actually, she was interviewed before by Ren Jones. If you don't know Ren, by the way, I believe you said he was your first coach. Is that correct?
He sure was. I truly had the honor of having Ren as my first coach. And all these years later, I can still hear him talking in my head. And they are all the things that I need to do every day to be a top performer.
If you guys don't know who Ren is the CEO of Vulcan7. So without Ren, guess what? We're not here. So share with me what has been going on since your initial interview up until now. Can you kind of give us the rundown a little bit? Is that okay?
Oh, absolutely. And I just wanted to add that I was lucky enough to be being coached by Ren when he was unveiling Vulcan. So it is such a powerful dialing source. And I
You've been
love
there.
that I was there from the beginning. It was really fun.
Oh my gosh, you're just like you're an original then, huh?
I am a, what do they say, OG? Is that
You're
what?
an OG. You're an OG. You're
I'm
an
an
OG
OG.
to the. You're an OG to the. Oh my God! I had no idea. That's awesome. Yeah. So just talk to me. Tell me what the business progression has looked like since the initial interview.
Okay, since the initial interview, we were doing about 120 deals just in Chicago alone. I just had that market, super proud of that market. I've lived in Chicago for about 20 years, so of course I know a lot of people, and it was a great market to work in. And then I actually met a sweetheart that was running a Denver market, and he was also my overriding coach is Mike Ferry. I have based my business on that platform. He was also a Mike Ferry agent, and we joined forces and decided to open up an additional market. So he runs Denver, I run the Chicagoland area, and then we opened up Vegas together. And it has been fun and very challenging.
Okay. So, by the way, for those of you who don't know, anywhere within like 30 miles of Chicago in Illinois is considered Chicago, just in case you didn't know that. All right. So you're in 3 markets right now. You're active. Which is amazing because what you were telling me is that you're still calling. I mean, but doing all those transactions, you're still actively calling right now. Is that correct?
Yes, it is built into my blood. Like, I just can't stop calling. I know it is a contact sport, and the only way to build a business and keep a business running at top speed is to make contacts. So I spend an hour in the Chicagoland area market, and then I spend an hour in the Vegas market.
Well, see, that's good because you can do them at different times as well. You know what I mean? Because you probably start because where are you? Are you in Vegas right now?
Today I am in Vegas. Yes, beautiful
Today,
Vegas.
today,
Sun is shining.
today, today she's in Vegas. Who knows where she's going to be tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so you're making these phone calls. All right. You're doing 1 hour here, 1 hour in another market. What do you consider to be a successful prospecting hour? What does that look like?
For me, it's 10 contacts an hour, which I have found to be very challenging in today's new environment where, there's so many blocks on phones and people aren't answering their phones, they're on the go. But that is a successful hour for me, are 10 contacts, live contacts.
Okay, got it. So as long as you hit 10 live contacts, it's a win for the day, correct?
Yes, each hour.
Got it. Because I mean, there's a lot. It's maybe you could speak on this as well, because I think that there's a lot of agents out there that we could speak to that think if they don't set an appointment, it's not a successful day. What's your opinion on that?
Yes, I understand why they would say that. However, it is simply a numbers game. And once you figure out your numbers, once you use a numbers analyzer and you figure out your numbers, it's going to happen. You just have to be consistent and keep building. I mean, basically, bottom line is I should be doing more than 2 hours a day. There's no doubt in my mind. I need more contacts. It's harder than ever to get business. So I should be putting in more time. But the bottom line is, I do take that 10 contacts per hour as my gauge for success because I know it is just a numbers game. And if I'm going to get that listing appointment, it's going to happen if I just keep down that same routine.
So when you're doing the hour, let's say in Chicago, for example, okay, what does that hour look like? What are you doing in that hour?
Sure. I always start with expireds. Actually, Ren taught me this, and it's always such a good visual. I'm not a cook or a baker, but it was a great visual, though. He's like, call right at 8 a.m. because you're getting the expireds. It's like a hot cookie coming out of the oven, it's still warm. Call them right at 8 a.m. They expired the night before. You're the champion then that's going to come in and save the day and give them an excellent real estate experience that they deserve. They deserve that sold sign in their yard. And you need to have confidence in your own ability through coaching to be able to deliver that.
All right, so it's getting the new ones squared away right off the bat, okay?
Yes.
And then after that, what does your progression look like, if you have the time to do so?
Sure. So I always hit the expireds. Those are my favorite because they've already advertised to us that they need to sell. There's motivation there. They've already ridden in the rodeo once. I want to make it a very, very pleasant experience for them and take them across the finish line. So I always do expireds first. I will then do my for sale by owners. And that is always, I think it's always been a challenge for all of us in real estate, or at least the majority of people I mastermind with. We all have a little like, when it comes to for sale by owners. Yet again, they have a sign in their yard and they are advertising that they want to sell. Clearly, they're advertising that they don't want to sell with an agent. However, you need to break through that barrier and you need to have their like right mindset again that you're going to create the most pleasant and successful and efficient real estate experience for them, and you are the best one for the job. And there's so many reasons why they should hire you as their agent. So that's my second category. Then I do calling around our listings and calling around our sold signs, and have great success with that as well because those people aren't being bombarded by agents. So that's a very good resource. And then for sure, especially in order to get my contacts and be able to conclude that hour, I will start calling my sphere of influence and follow-ups.
So it's putting in the time and the effort, correct?
It really is. And, I've been doing this since 2006. So, and I've had Mike Ferry, the whole thing since 2006. What I would say though, when I moved to Vegas, I was a brand new agent again in this market. No one, I did not know one person in Vegas. And in fact, the whole time I was like, I don't think I want to move to Vegas. It's such a, the culture is so different than the Chicagoland area. But then when I came here and saw the beauty of the suburbs, I fell in love. And then it turns out the people are absolutely wonderful. So I had this preconceived notion. Yet the bottom line is I did not know one person. So when I called and I said, this is Kari Kohler, nobody knew who I was. When I call in the Chicagoland area, I definitely have a leg up. It's not that every person knows me, but in the area that we sell the most in, people have seen our signs. We have some foundation to build on. So when I moved here, I felt like a brand new agent. And it was a very, very interesting experience. Had to learn the culture, had to learn the heartbeat of Vegas, had to learn the streets where everything was located. And so I really put myself back in the shoes of being a brand new agent. Although I knew the scripts and I had the skill, I had nothing to stand on. And every state is so different too when it comes to culture and the rules for real estate. Everything's so different. So there was a huge learning curve, just like a brand new agent.
Oh, I can just imagine. I'm assuming. So, I mean, right now, I mean, being in the markets that you're in, you're keeping yourself pretty busy. And, I found, time management, at least for myself, which I'm just going to venture to get, I'm going to throw it out there that your time is managed very well. Okay. Um,
It could
what is your
always
tip?
be improved, but I focus on that. I absolutely focus on that, and I reflect on it at the end of the day and make goals for the next day. That's the one thing that I think all of us can improve all the time. We can be great at the scripts and the objection handlers, but the time management, if you don't do the work, then nothing comes out the other side.
Exactly. And, at least for me, I don't know, my morning is the most important part of my day. And the moment that my morning gets thrown off for whatever reason, I'm, ah, you know, so,
Exactly.
would you be open to sharing your morning? You kind of like your morning schedule, what that looks like, until you're on the dialer?
Yes, absolutely. It's a little trickier here when I'm in Vegas because I've got to convert to the Chicagoland hours, but I'll talk to you in the Chicagoland hours. So I leave for the office at 7 a.m. I get to the office at 7:15. First 15 minutes I'm there. I'm just taking care of any loose ends, that kind of thing. 7:30, I'm role playing with another professional. Sometimes beginners, sometimes somebody that's in the middle, and sometimes advanced people. Personally, I like doing the beginners and the in the middle of the road because I love to teach too, so it's fun. And that's just like stretching when you're going to work out. You're just warming up. You're full of mistakes. Maybe your voice doesn't sound that great yet. You're just warming up and you're learning from that other person. And there are really strict rules with role play, so it should only take like 5 minutes, and there's no chit chat, there's no talking about your weekend. It's just right into role play. Do it, give the other person feedback, rock and roll, you're ready to go. Then I take a few minutes, get collected, take care of anything that's loose ends. 8 a.m., I'm on the dialer again for an hour in Chicago. And then depending on which time zone I'm in, I might have to take a break because I've got to wait for 8 o'clock to hit in Vegas. And then I'm back on the dialer again. And if I wasn't running so many markets, because I also help with Denver, I mentor the agents there. I'm not licensed in Denver, but my partner is, of course, and everybody else on the Denver team is licensed in Denver. However, I help mentor those agents. So I just have so much time during the day where I am working on that as well as building this new Vegas business and taking care of all of our clients at the same time.
I want you guys to realize what was just said, okay? Is she's been an agent for a very long time, extremely successful at what, Kari is extremely successful at what she does. And every single morning, she's still doing role play. Okay. And I'm just going to assume that's a non-negotiable, right? Like that's what you do every morning, right?
It is a non-negotiable. And we were talking just a second ago about the rules of role play. That's the thing. If somebody doesn't show up on the role play call, I have like a B and a C, A, B, C I can call because I've got to get my voice going. I've got to get the energy flowing, stand up, feel alive, because it's not that easy at 7:30 in the morning to feel that way sometimes, especially when you're floating between all these time zones.
But see, like I said, I personally just love that because from what I found, the most successful agents, the one that have been doing it's someone that's been doing it so long, still finds the need to work out in the basically they're exercising, right? I mean, is what you're doing. So let me ask you this: so you're in three separate markets right now, okay? So you're running left, right, up, down, sideways, every way you could possibly imagine. What do you feel, number one, is the most challenging part of doing all of this? And then follow up question after that.
Yes, initially it was learning the vibe, the culture of this whole new environment. Chicagoland area, I'm so spoiled. I raised my kids there. I know all the schools. I just don't even have to look anything up. I've lived and breathed it for so long. I know what's going on there. In Vegas, I had no idea. I didn't even know what the sports teams' names were. I mean, I was just a complete fish out of water. So I would feel like, okay, I learned this, I know this, and now then something new would happen in Vegas, and I didn't have the heartbeat of this place. And so I feel like you need to have that. You need to have the groundwork and understand the culture, because everything is so different between all of our different states, even in America. It's amazing. And the rules when it comes to what you can
Right.
do as a licensed person and a non licensed person, and all the contracts. I mean, everything, the way everything closes here is different. We use attorneys in Chicago, we do not use attorneys in Vegas. I mean, at just everything. And then the other thing, of course, this is Vegas. Do you think anybody answers their phone at 8 a.m. in the morning? Absolutely not. I mean, it is 9, 10 o'clock before you get anybody rolling in Vegas. So there were just so many challenges and little quirky things I had to learn and work out in order to be successful in this market. I would say I can't call myself a successful agent in this market yet, because I'm not reaching my sales goals yet, but I'm hell bent on getting it done. So it will be done by the next time we talk.
No, for sure. We're going to do a follow up to the follow up. Um,
Yes.
so then, I mean, being in multiple markets, then what's the most rewarding part of it? Because it's just to me, just doing it and being successful, I think is amazing. But what's the most rewarding part to you?
The most rewarding part, the biggest feel good in Vegas for me is the come list me call, because I'm thinking then that I've done my work that I've been trained on. For example, my coaches that I've had all along, they're just like every single person you meet, you need to give that, have a small real estate conversation, then follow up with them, show them that you're there to provide value. It doesn't have to be real estate value. It can be something a little different. You're looking for a painter, a plumber. I'm here to help. I run a full service. I can give you those things. I want to be sharp in Vegas too. So when I go golfing and somebody says, "How's the market?" I have a good answer for that. So I'm sorry, I think I lost track of your question. And just
Oh
to
no,
make sure.
yeah, no, I think that was perfectly fine. It was just what the most rewarding part of it was, and
Oh, yes. The come list me calls from my sphere of influence that I'm meeting in Vegas. That's the most rewarding, because I feel like I've done the layers to achieve the goal of earning their respect. And then, obviously taking them across the finish line and reaching their goals is what's super exciting to me.
that's awesome. No, because I mean, especially when you're in a new market and you're talking to people, that you really don't know, and you're learning it, and they have that you've built enough trust, like, and respect, where they're like, you know what, come list me. That's a phenomenal,
Yes.
phenomenal feeling.
And
Is
I feel like one of the things, and we don't talk about this very much in, in the coaching that we do with the coaches, yet I feel like something that really helped me in Vegas is well, I've always done it, but I do a lot of social media. So I've got that social media proof that I have successful sales in the Chicagoland area. And then my friends in Vegas started seeing that, and they're like, "Oh man, you really have the Chicago land, suburbs especially, locked down." So they took that success and started to build trust, and then started hiring me here. So that was fun to watch that progression. But it was impossible to be able to show them that I had done a lot of work without social media, because it's not like I could sit there and go to lunch with them and brag about, I wouldn't do that, like just talk about the number of transactions. But they saw it day after day after day after day, all these beautiful homes in Chicagoland area being sold. And I think that really helped. And then just getting to know me on a personal basis hopefully helped as well.
all right. So let me ask you this, okay? So you're in your office, okay, and a brand new agent walks by your door. She's like, "You've heard about this Kari lady? She seems pretty good. She seems pretty good." Knock, knock, knock on the door, and they're like, "Kari, what is one piece of advice that you could give me for my new business?"
Prospect. Just do it. Do it. I heard Karen Bernardi, for anybody that knows Karen Bernardi, she is a massively successful agent in the Boulder area. And I heard her on a couple of interviews say, I'm not perfect at all. I'm not perfect with the scripts. I'm not perfect with my interactions, yet I do it. And if you just do it and work harder every day to just become a little bit better, you're going to be so successful. It's those of us that actually dial the phone, make the contacts. If we're at the gym and we're talking to somebody and they come over and say, how's the market? Be prepared to answer that question in your market so that you're showing them that you are sharp, you've got background, you've got research, and you're a hard worker. But the bottom line is just that old Nike saying, just do it.
Do it, right. All right. Well, let's tie this up in a nice little bow here. Okay. So, what are your final last words for Vulcan 7 Nation, Kari?
Well, of course, if anyone has buyers or sellers in Denver, Vegas, and Chicago that they want to refer out, I would love to help you with that. Secondly, and most importantly, I love to be a mentor. So if anybody has questions, they are more than welcome to call my personal cell number, and I will get right back to them and help them with their challenge or whatever their question is.
Would you like So let's say someone comes in with a referral for Vegas, Chicago, or Denver. How does one get in touch with you?
They can call my personal cell, which is 630-673-4586. I can also be reached on my email at kari@thekohlergroup.com.
Awesome. Kari, thank you so much. This is great. I really appreciate you being here today. I'm sure Vulcan 7 loves you. We're going to do a triple follow-up, by the way. In like a year, I'm going to come back to you and we're going to see you being in 17 different markets. Okay. Three's
I
not
love it.
enough. We need 17 markets. All right.
I love it.
Other than that, everybody do me a favor, go make some money and never forget to trust the process. Kari, thank you so much. Take care, everyone.